Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. FPL Consult here, and in today's video I'm going to share with you guys my plans for the upcoming Game Week 3. Now, I free hit in Game Week 2, some of you guys would remember, so I'm going to quickly go through how I did for Game Week 2 before we jump into my Game Week 3 plans. Now, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please do drop a like, please do subscribe as well. And talking about Game Week 2, I got 54 points all out on my free hit. I'm recording this just before the Manchester United versus Fulham game. There's also the Monday Night Football Liverpool versus Newcastle. So still 2 games to go, but as it stands, I'm on a green arrow up to 1.1 million in the world. Nothing to shout about, but I think overall, in terms of the decision to free hit, after assessing the results, at least I can say, I mean, there's still games to go, but at least the reasoning as to why I chose to free hit in Game Week 2 still stood, and I'm happy with that, where I felt like the Arsenal versus Leeds game was something that, firstly, a lot of people wouldn't be able to get to Arsenal players. I managed to get triple Arsenal here with Gabriel, Saka and Gyökeres. And yeah, capitalizing on the 5-0 game, I had full confidence that was a game Arsenal would do well in, and 5-0 was honestly not unexpected after looking at the way Arsenal started the game. 2-0 at the midway point and then 3 more goals after that. So I'm happy enough with the returns from the Arsenal boys. Obviously, it could have been more. Saka came off early in the second half because of an injury, but thankfully he picked up a goal in the first half already. And then Gyökeres with a 12-pointer. If only I was brave enough to captain him, because it was already very likely that he would be on penalties ahead of Saka. Granted that the penalty that he took was when Saka wasn't on the pitch because he came off injured. But yeah, if I had the guts to captain Gyökeres instead of Haaland, obviously massive hindsight here, but then I would have gotten 12 more points. Alright, so overall, I'd say happy enough with the return still, and also the decision to free hit. In terms of the other players though, like Haaland for example, and Tijani Reinders, both of them quite disappointing, blanking against Spurs, a very shocking 2-0 loss for Manchester City. I didn't expect that as well. Majority of the market odds also had Haaland projected to do very well. He did have a big chance, and also he had a great through ball that he played through Marmoush. If only Marmoush converted that. But if not, a blank for Haaland. Also a blank for the Aston Villa boys that I felt they would do well against Brentford. Rodgers and Watkins both blank. Aside from that, at least there were returns from Semenyo, an assist for Semenyo, who could have gotten more. He hit the post from a cross from deep, and I honestly felt like Semenyo could have gotten more against Wolves, but happy enough with a return at least from him. Same for Cucurella, Trafford and Gabriel, all with returns. Cucurella with an assist, Trafford and Gabriel both with clean sheets, Sanchez with a 3-pointer. So overall, happy with the free hit and the decision to do so. Now coming back to Game Week 3, let's take a look at my team. I'll revert back to my original team, and let's see my plans for the upcoming game week. So looking at my Game Week 3 team, this is how it looks without any transfers made, and I have 1 free transfer because I free hit in Game Week 2, so that only leaves me with 1 transfer in Game Week 3. At the back, it's still going to be Sanchez against Fulham at home. In defense, it's double Spurs defense, Porro and Van de Ven both against Bournemouth, which at this point, looking at how they've started the season defensively, I'm quite happy that I have both these players. Van de Ven is actually 4.5. If I had more money in preseason, I would have gone for Romero, who's more expensive than Van de Ven, but better for defensive contributions and better in terms of his injury record as well. But I know Van de Ven is just a cheaper enabler at 4.5, so I've chosen to go for him from the start of the season, and Porro Van de Ven is my double up here. And then Murillo against West Ham at home. West Ham not doing very well, so I'm happy enough to have Murillo here. In the midfield is Ismail Assar, Salah, Fernandes, Tijani Reinders, and Palmer, who is yellow flagged. On Ismail Assar as well, he just scored against Nottingham Forest, so I think it's looking great for him. Game Week 3, it's Aston Villa away. Game Week 4 and 5, it's Sunderland and West Ham respectively. It's looking very good, so I'm happy enough to have him in my draft. Salah and Fernandes, they're not going anywhere. Likely Fernandes against Burnley is going to be my captain. Tijani Reinders here at 5.5. Looked a little bit more disappointing in Game Week 2. Obviously, he wasn't playing the same role as he was in Game Week 1, where he was kind of the box-crashing midfielder in Game Week 1. potential was really high. Everyone was moving for him, and then he plays a different role now against Spurs, which also wasn't unexpected. I mean, he was never going to play in that same role every single time. We know with Pep, he likes to, switch it up according to the opponents, and for this game, he was a little bit deeper, Reinders. So didn't do as well against Spurs. Now he has Brighton. I think minutes-wise, he's still slightly ahead in the pecking order, but as you'll see later on, I do have plans further down the line where I could remove him if I so wish to. And then Palmer is obviously the biggest issue here that I probably have to deal with. It will depend largely on a few things. Firstly, the press conferences, whether he's likely to start in Game Week 3 or not. Secondly, the quality of the replacements that I'm looking at as well. I'll speak about them as we go into the next section. Then up front, it's Ollie Watkins and João Pedro. João Pedro, I'm happy to have him. I mean, you saw him get a 15-pointer in Game Week 2, which I missed out on because I free hit, but overall the points were still scored higher, but due to my free hit. So I'm happy enough to be coming back to João Pedro instead of transferring him in. So he has Fulham. For Ollie Watkins, he looked really poor against Brentford, but I'm really hoping Aston Villa turn a corner. If not, it's potentially a time where I could be selling Ollie Watkins if Aston Villa still continue to stink it up. The figures are really good for Aston Villa, so I don't really want to sell him, but he's 9 million and he has to start delivering. If not, he's going to go. So there we go with my Game Week 3 starting 11. I mean, on the bench is Dubravka, Anderson against Chelsea, Mark Guiu against Brentford, and Estef. Probably not going to use any of them. Even Joachim Anderson against Chelsea. Yes, great for defensive contributions, but I prefer the starting 11 that I have here. It's more a question of the transfers that I intend to make in Game Week 3, and I intend to use this one free transfer as well. I'm quite keen on replacing Palmer, and let's take a look at why. So for Game Week 3, this is my team on the FPL.team transfer planner. And in terms of my transfers, it's likely going to center around Cole Palmer, as I think a lot of people who own Cole Palmer would be in a similar position. Now, I'm not in a rush to sell Cole Palmer, but it's not going to take a lot for me to pull the trigger and sell him as well. All I need to hear from Maresca is that he's a bit of a doubt, and I don't mind selling him. Reason being, he's at 10.5 million. Most of the time, the replacements that we're looking at, that we'll discuss later on, are downgrades. So I'll free up a lot of money, and I can upgrade other players elsewhere, which I'm not opposed to as well. There will be players I want to go for at a little bit more of a higher price point, as you'll see. And I think selling Cole Palmer could be the enabler for that. So in terms of looking at Cole Palmer replacements first, if obviously he is not able to play this Fulham game, the first thing I'll do is I'll take Cole Palmer out. And the most likely replacement for me is actually Anthony Gordon. Now, simply because he's playing Leeds in Game Week 3, so a plum fixture. Newcastle right now are still in a bit of a saga with Alexander Isak, and it's likely that Gordon will be playing centre forward. So a midfielder in FPL playing as a forward in real life is usually a very good thing, a player playing out of position. He also takes lots of shots as well, Anthony Gordon, so I like that about him. He is at 7.5 million, right? So selling Cole Palmer basically gives me a extra 3 million, as you'll see in the bank here, where I can use to fund my moves elsewhere. And I think one of the main things looking forward into the next few game weeks as I go into Game Week 4 as well is that you'll see I do have a couple of small issues with my team. For Game Week 4, I'm likely going to just play Anderson against Leeds instead of Murillo here. But in terms of the midfield, as you'll see, there are areas I can try to improve. Bruno Fernandes against Manchester City here is not ideal. In terms of the pre-planned moves, remove him for someone like Florian Wirtz, for example, at 8.5, right? So he's one of the players I was looking at. I think Cody Gakpo as well. Main reasons why I'm looking at these Liverpool assets is because in Game Week 4, they have Burnley, and then in Game Week 5, they have Everton at home. So he was the player that I intended to sell for these Liverpool assets. But now that if I sell Cole Palmer here and I have 3.0 million in the bank, I can actually upgrade Tijani Reinders to one of these players. I will have enough money. As you'll see, I have 8.6 million. I can afford Florian Wirtz. I can afford Gakpo. And the reason why I don't mind selling Reinders is because from Game Week 4, it's Manchester United at home. Game Week 5, it's Arsenal. Yes, Game Week 6 is Burnley. It's slightly easier. After that, it gets easier. But as I said, my own plans for my team is that I could be wildcarding sometime around Game Week 6, 7, or 8. So that's why I don't mind selling Tijjani Reinders. Yes, I know how great of an enabler he is. But if I sell Cole Palmer, I will have funds. And I can simply do Reinders to, for example, Cody Gakpo. Right, more than enough money for that. Burnley away, 2 Liverpool assets against Burnley. And yeah, I mean, this is just what, going back to Game Week 3, selling Cole Palmer to Anthony Gordon enables. Now, Gordon's not the only replacement that I'm looking at. There are other replacements. I think Semenyo is also very high up the list here. Semenyo is at 7.2 million. And he's currently quite highly owned at 17.1% for obvious reasons. In Game Week 1, he scored 2 goals against Liverpool. Game Week 2, he got an assist as well. The fixtures moving forward are pretty decent for Bournemouth as well. It's Spurs away, Brighton at home, Newcastle at home, then it's Leeds, Fulham, Crystal Palace. It's not super good, but you know Semenyo is a great player in a good form right now. And also, he's a player that loves taking shots, right? And I do think like there's sense in going for Semenyo as well. Another way I could spin is going for a Spurs midfielder. And initially I was looking at Mohamed Kudus because he was, I mean, when you look at in terms of the eye test, he's the one with the most flair. And the Spurs fixtures are really good. I mean, it's a sea of green. I don't have to elaborate how good the fixtures are. I don't mind going for a Spurs midfielder. But in terms of greater goal threat, I think Brennan Johnson is a player with greater goal threat as compared to Mohamed Kudus. The only difference is I think Johnson is a little bit more at risk of being taken off slightly earlier as compared to Kudus, because I think Odebear is a better replacement than whoever they have for Kudus coming on, right? So that's what we saw against City as well, where Johnson came off around the 80th minute for Odebear. So if not, I think Spurs players are also worth considering. But as I said, I think the main replacement I'm looking at right now is Anthony Gordon. I discussed a little bit more about him in the Cole Palmer replacements video that I posted yesterday. If you wanted a little bit more of an in-depth analysis on him, you can look for that video. If not, we'll have to wait and see that he comes out of the Newcastle versus Liverpool game unscathed. If not, if he does, and if Cole Palmer is going to miss out in Game Week 3, Leeds away, Wolves at home, Bournemouth away. Arsenal Game Week 6 is not easy, but then there's Forest, Brighton, Fulham, and West Ham as well. So I can actually just keep Gordon for a really long time if I choose not to, free wild card around this 6, 7, or 8 period. So he's a player that allows me to just have more flexibility in my decision making as well as giving me more money by selling Cole Palmer. So let me know what you think of my moves. Aside from that, I don't think I'm going to stray in terms of my transfers. Like the other players, I don't have to worry too much. I've seen some people say Watkins to Gyökeres is a move they're considering. I think the fixtures are still very good for Aston Villa. And when I compare the Gyökeres fixtures, right, basically when you look at the Arsenal fixtures, it's just not a great time to bring Gyökeres in, right? Like Game Week 3, they have Liverpool. Game Week 4, they have Forest. Game Week 5, it's Man City. And then 6 is Newcastle. Like, I really think fixtures-wise, now's not the time to move for him. But I've seen some people say that Gyökeres is fixture-proof. They think that now that he's on penalties because Saka is injured and he's going to get, 90 minutes and Arsenal look very good, that they want to go for him. But no matter how good he is, I really think now is not the time to move for him. And I'd rather play the fixtures and keep Ollie Watkins for the time being. So there we go for my Game Week 3 transfer plans. Let me know what you guys think and what moves you are making as well. If I've missed out any of the moves that I potentially could go for, drop it in the comments below. If not, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please do drop a like. Please do subscribe as well. And I will catch you guys in more Game Week 3 content coming very, very soon. Bye-bye.